Well, like I said last time, I'm gonna start do shorter DVD updates. This time I have 4 DVDs and 4 Blu-rays, and so I'll do them more often instead. So I'm thinking that, well, I'll start with the DVDs, then I'll move on to the Blu-rays, starting with the incredible Burt Wonderstone. Yeah, I've heard about this for a long time. Only recently, sort of understood that it's not supposed to be all that great. And it's really not. It has very little substance, extremely little substance. In fact, it's just gag after gag, some sentiment in there. I mean, it has a story that it desperately tries to follow, but does a pretty poor job at that, because you don't really know where. I mean, it doesn't focus on any one particular thing. It jumps from different things, and you don't really know where you have it in a way. I mean, you don't really know what to make of it. It's not really a big deal. I mean, it's a movie you should just watch and enjoy and not really think about at all. It's just a fun movie. I mean, come on. I'm just saying that even fun movies could have substance. It is funny at times, but there really are. It's kind of like over the top jokes that are maybe fun because they're over the top. They're not particularly clever. They're just kind of, I don't know. It's not very creative, this movie. It's has a good cast, but that doesn't really save it. I don't know. It was fine, but I wasn't expecting much. But still, I think it could have been a little better. Then we got Mr. Mom, another comedy here. Michael Keaton, Terry Garr. This one is from 1983, I believe. So this is very young Michael Keaton, or well, not very. He was about 30, I guess. But it's one of the earlier Michael Keaton movies that I've seen, I guess. I actually like Michael Keaton quite a bit. I usually enjoy him in his comedies in particular. This one is about he gets fired from his job, and you can pretty much see it here. You can probably figure out the plot by looking at the cover and reading the title, but I'm gonna explain it anyway. He gets fired, after which he tries to look for another job, but so is his wife. So this is not really of importance to the plot, but he makes a bet with her that he's gonna get a job before she does. But she does get a job. She finds a job before he does and becomes pretty successful and important at that job, you could say. So he sort of ends up being not a housewife, but house husband. No, but he's sort of a stay-at-home dad after that, which is pretty clear here from the picture, as I said. It was a fun movie. It was pretty much what I expected. It's a cozy, sweet family flick. Lots of comedy in there, some drama. It's a fun movie. I mean, it's not anything more than what you might expect from it, but it does deliver, because it is. I mean, it is what it. How should I put it? It is what it sets out to be, or it doesn't try to be anything else. Or I don't know. It was just a straightforward, fun, cozy little movie. Then we have Deliverance. Been wanting to see this for a long time. Great movie. Jon Voight, Burt Reynolds, but also Ned Beatty in his first movie, I believe. And I agree with the director John Boorman on the commentary track. He said that it's his very first movie, but he's very good. He has found his character really well, and he's a very great actor. It doesn't seem like it's his first movie, but it is. I don't know much about it. I have yet to look it up. But maybe he's done theater before. Maybe he has some sort of experience, because he's very comfortable with his acting. That's obvious. Anyway, great movie. I like the fact that they don't use any music except for, there is this in the beginning of the movie. There's this dueling banjos, which has apparently become pretty famous. In which yeah, you can actually see it here, right there. He doesn't have a banjo. I think he has an acoustic guitar, doesn't he? Well, either way, this boy here has a banjo, and they're playing for maybe 5 minutes at most, maybe not that much. Yeah, well, they're playing for a while, and then that music sort of returns, not the same, but that type of music, yeah, the banjo and the guitar, and that's all the music there is in the movie, and I definitely like that. That adds to the realism of the movie. It is a very realistic movie, and it definitely relies on its actors, on the actors pulling off believable characters, which they do, all of them, and the silence in parts of the movie. They don't add a bunch of suspenseful, dramatic music over the scenes. They just keep it quiet and silent, which is very effective. I definitely would recommend you checking this out. I thought it was great. Then we have the last DVD here, and this is Gilmore Girls season 6. I'm currently watching season 7. I'm enjoying this show very much. I'm not sure if I would say I'm gonna give my sort of final opinion on when I've probably in the next update. I guess when I've finished the whole show. I've heard the ending is really good, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they wrap it up. But I have like 15 episodes to go or something like that. But anyway, this season is good. I mean, I'm gonna talk about it more as I said, but a little different from season 4 and 5. I feel like this sort of season 4 and 5 they focused a lot on the college aspect, and a lot very centered around that part of the show. But this season and season 7, as far as I've watched so far, it's a little more varied. Not negative. It's not a negative thing. It's just different. But it's more varied and explores more territories, you could say, without trying to sound pretentious. But it tries more new things. If I feel like try to explore more nuances of certain characters and relationships and stuff like that. I don't know. It's a great show. It is unfortunately broken here, but that's what you get when you order. Sometimes it's not that bad. It's just a bit of plastic that is missing, and this rarely happens either, so I shouldn't complain. Although it's hard not to when you're a DVD collector. But anyway, next up is a great documentary, 3-hour documentary on Woody Allen. We just called Woody Allen a documentary, featuring interviews with these people right here, and many more. It's actually also by the Robert B. Wide or something like that. I don't know exactly how you pronounce his last name, but he has directed several Curb Your Enthusiasm episodes. I think he's one of the most regular directors of that show. Maybe him and Larry Charles, maybe someone else. They've directed the most amount of episodes, I think. Anyway, this is 3 hours. I had no idea when I bought it. I thought it was 1 hour 40 minutes maybe, but then I realized that this is a 3-hour monstrosity. They start from it's a movie that is compiled of, or it's mainly interviews and people talk, and there's a lot of footage from Woody Allen's movies. Some footage from some archival footage, like there's a blooper in there, for example, from I don't remember the movie. Doesn't matter. There is behind the scenes footage here and there throughout the documentary. Lots of goodies for Woody Allen fans. I think I'm a Woody Allen fan myself, and I enjoyed a lot of this. There is a really good which they filmed especially for this movie. This was made, I guess, around the time when they filmed You Will Meet the Tall Dark Stranger, or actually this movie took 2 or 3 years to make, but he was filming that movie while they were making this documentary, so they went over there to the set, and so there's some behind the scenes, maybe 5 minutes of behind the scenes footage from You Will Meet the Tall Dark Stranger. Maybe not one of his best movies according to most people, but fun to see him in directing action. You can see how he works with his actors, and there's a lot of stuff to say about this. I feel like I was going to say something else, but then I started rambling on, and that sort of disappeared from my head, from my mind. But it doesn't matter. I've said enough, I think. Anyway. Oh, sorry. I actually remembered what I was going to say. You're going to have to bear with me a little longer. No, but I was going to say that they start from the beginning of his career and they sort of check each one of his movies chronologically. So they have the time for most of his movies. It is a 3-hour documentary. Still, though, some of them they talk about very briefly, and some of them they don't mention. But most of his movies they do talk about and reflect upon pretty much in detail. Anyway, very highly recommended documentary for Woody Allen fans. Very interesting. Definitely enjoyed it. Then we have a movie that I bought and then realized afterwards that we're gonna watch this for school. Our teacher said that have you heard about the movie Heavenly Creatures? And yeah, I said I bought that from last time, so don't spoil it. I said. Anyway, he said that I want you to watch it until next class. Anyway, would have watched it, despite that, obviously. I thought it was good. I can't say it was better than good. Kind of ambivalent. I feel that it's a little thin somehow. Just not a lot to hold on to. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels like I expected more from it. I expected more of their fantasy world, for one thing. There are a few cool shots. I mean, that shot one with the clay figures or whatever, it's great. And the shot where sort of a POV shot through their sandcastle and it leads up to the top floor and you see Kate Winslet looking into the castle from outside. That's really cool, that shot. And so it has some creative stuff, but overall I'm not sure what to think. Still, I'm not sure what to think. It's I talked about that in a movie night I did when I watched this one, and I'm still not quite sure, but I like it, but I can't say that I was too impressed, but I will revisit it again for sure sometime. Then we have a movie that I watched yesterday, Meaning of Life by Monty Python. This is a 30th anniversary edition, so it does contain a brand new... This movie was made in 1983, so brand new hour-long The Meaning of Monty Python 30th anniversary reunion. So this was filmed this year. This is obviously released this year, this Blu-ray. So they all gather in London, I think, although Eric Idle is in Los Angeles, so they have him on a screen in the middle. But they all reminisce about the movie and stuff for about an hour. And they are so incredibly smart, these people. So a lot of the stuff that they talk about and refer to and joke about, and it goes way over my head, but I'm still enjoying very much seeing a reunion, a discussion with all 5 of them. All 5 remaining, all 5 who are still alive, get together and talk about the movie, especially since it's from this year. The more recent, the more fun it usually is to see something like that. At least I think so. Yeah, very good Blu-ray, which I recommend for fans of the movie. Have seen it, I guess, about 2 times before, and still think it's a great movie. But maybe I prefer I prefer Holy Grail for sure, but I think I might like Life of Brian a little more as well. But this is still a great movie. Obviously, quite a bit different from the other 2. But so you get a lot of insight also into the movie from the special features. Although a lot of it is already on previous releases. There's a making of which was filmed in like 2003 or something, and there's a commentary with Terry Jones and Terry Gilliam, which was recorded around that time as well, I think. Although the thing with the commentary here, and that was the case with the commentary of the Holy Grail too, is that they're not together when they talk about the movie. It seems like they watched it alone, and then they have just sort of edited. It has to have taken a long time to edit that together, because, for example, in this one, Terry Jones and Terry Gilliam talk about the movie. They're on the commentary, but they watch the movie separately, so they don't talk to each other. Terry Jones comes in and says something, then Terry Gilliam says something, and that sort of becomes obvious because they don't talk to each other. They don't reply to each other. So it becomes clear pretty early that it's been recorded on separate occasions, which I feel is too bad, because I think it's much more fun excuse me, it's much more fun when they get together and talk about the movie in question. But anyway, last DVD here, last Blu-ray, I mean, the Evil Dead trilogy, all three of them. I had seen these two twice before, but this only once. Evil Dead is still a great movie. Something that I haven't really considered that much before is that the special effects sort of drag down the movie a little bit. They mentioned that in special features, and that made me think, yeah, it's actually true that it is a very scary movie where atmosphere is very, very well pulled off, but the gore effects and the special effects, they're very cheap and sometimes don't look all that great. So if that would have been improved and more sort of professionally made, I guess it would have been better. But it is still a great horror classic. Evil Dead 2 I had seen twice before, but I liked it more this time. I found more stuff that I liked this time around. I definitely appreciate it more as a movie. It's so incredibly creative. I mean, it has so many shots that it's very creative. Oh, and by the way, if the camera will cut off now, I'm very sorry. The camera cut off right when I said that. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, so Evil Dead 2, I liked that more this time. Army of Darkness. Didn't remember all of it. I sort of, after he leaves the forest in his search for the Necronomicon, that's sort of when I had forgotten. I mean, I couldn't remember anything else after that. So very much fun to watch that again. Great movie. Almost on par with these two, but not quite. It also doesn't seem right to compare it, because these two, they're similar to each other. This one is a little more comedic, but they're pretty similar. This one, however, is very different because it's not exactly a horror movie. It's more of a fantasy movie. I mean, it's horror. A lot of people would disagree with me, but I feel that it is kind of, there are horror influences, of course, but I don't feel like it's a horror movie. It's more like it's a comedy. I mean, that's what it is. Not a black comedy like this one, but just a comedy, because a lot of the stuff, really, there's no blackness. It's just goofy humor. The horror is very secondary after the supernatural elements. So it's kind of like a comedic, dark fantasy movie. But anyway, great set. This has a lot of special features too. I won't talk about it, but if you're interested, there are people who've done videos about this, but you can pause here and read them if you're interested too. So I guess that's all for this time. Yeah, even though I do them more often, I don't watch as much, so I can. I mean, I don't do them. I mean, I don't. I have fewer items in each video, so I can do them more often, which was the point, and for them not to become extremely long. Which this one is pretty long anyway, but I have a tendency of rambling on. But also, it does take a little while for me to get through this, like 8 DVDs, because, you know, I'm kind of busy with school. Haven't been as busy before. Now there's more to do. So yeah, you know, I can't. I just don't watch as much anymore, which is too bad. But so I just mean that even though I'm making them more often, it's not as often as I'd like. But anyway, it's as often as I can. But yeah, I hate when people say that in DVD updates. Oh, I'm so busy with school and work. Sorry, I haven't been here for a while. Now I'm saying it. But yeah, I just want to let you know. But yeah, thank you for watching. Next one is gonna be an unboxing. So stay tuned for that.